Well, fans of the Traitors, we finally got a true blue Traitors episode. Had to wait till episode 6 of season 4 to get one, but once we got rid of Michael Rappaport, we had a round table of real discussion, actual alliances being made, traitor on traitor crime, people actually using their minds rather than just voting and being swayed at the table. Yes, the wrong guy went home and a faithful was banished, and yes, we are left on a huge cliffhanger of a murder happening in plain sight, but we finally get to watch our show and see it moving forward. It took us a while to get there, but I'm happy to talk about it. Today we're breaking down episode 6 of The Traitors. Mr. Ron Funches is banished. There is no one murdered thanks to the shields. There was a haunted house type challenge thrown in the middle there. We're going to break it all down and really focus on the future of what it means that Rob and Lisa are at each other's throats. But I cannot do this alone. I need the person to join me in the turret to take off our hoods and figure out who we're going to take out next. Welcome into the show, Miss Bailey Buffs. Come on in, Bales.
Hi, Tony Tone.
I'm pumped for this episode. I thought it was the best episode of The Traitors yet because it was actually a true Traitors episode. That roundtable discussion, it lasted a long time. I don't know if you were paying attention to the runtime of the episode, but the bulk of it was that roundtable, and I thought it was fantastic theater. What about you? Did you feel like this was true Traitors, or is this season still trying to find its feet?
No, I feel like this was finally the first time that people started actually listening to each other and not just going for the easy vote. It felt like Ron actually did a great job of convincing people he was not a traitor. Yes, I know he got banished, but I think most people just did it because they didn't know who else to do. But I think he did such a good job at defending himself. And I really didn't know which way it was going to go between Colton, Ron, and Lisa, honestly. And that's what you want in a show like this. You want the viewer to be genuinely shocked and surprised at what is happening at the round table. And I absolutely was. I mean, I'm crushed to see Ron go, but good for him for defending himself. Good for him for calling out the blatant hypocrisy in the way that he's being treated versus Colton's being treated. I think he really stood up for himself. I think it was such a sweet goodbye. I kind of like that he had an extra moment to really get to say everything he wanted to say because he knew it was him. And so I was just thankful we got to spotlight Ron and really got to have him defend himself because I think he was very, very unfairly treated in this season. And I think there's always one or two people that just, they get misunderstood. They get treated poorly, unfortunately. And I think that was Ron this season. And I don't think he deserved it. So I was glad for him to have his empowering moment to kind of defend himself.
I was too. I wish he was still there. The only question mark I still have about Ron and his journey in the Traitors is there has to be something that happened off camera between him and Dorinda for them to really dislike each other as much as they put off as that they dislike each other. There's some vitriol there that isn't there with the rest of the round table. And you'll notice when he goes around the round table to say goodbye to everyone, which I thought was a really fun moment and a fun way for him to defend himself. He doesn't say anything to Dorinda, and he we didn't even see him get to Dorinda. I'm not going to say anything or what he said. I want to know what happened between those two and why there is such a miscommunication there. But I agree with you. Him saying that I voted off Portia and y'all like Portia. Colton voted off Michael, y'all didn't like Michael, and he gets a pass. I thought that was the correct way to play this thing and kind of almost, as you said, swung the vote in his favor. The beauty of the round table, though, was that it was not all jump on one person vote. There were 3 people where every vote mattered to see who was going to go home and who was going to stay. And one of them was Ron. One of them was Colton, but the third one was a new name brought up at the round table for the first time, and it was Lisa Rinna, an actual traitor. And this name brought up by Colton in defense of himself, him trying to say that I'm going to come after you, Lisa. I believe you're a traitor.
I will protect you at the round table. If you protect me in the turret.
Convinces enough people to vote for Lisa and almost get her thrown out, including her fellow traitor from Love Island, Mr. Rob Rausch, who is playing, in my opinion, the best game of the entire season. The future is going to be Rob versus Lisa, but today it was Colton versus Lisa. So Bailey, we've talked about Colton enough. Him out of the castle, so to speak. I don't want to bring that into this discussion. I want to talk about Colton versus Lisa in the true Traitors sense, because it was wonderful. Colton sitting Lisa down and saying, "Hey, I'm going to hold you hostage for this. So like, I'm going to keep you safe at the round table if you keep me safe in the turret." And Lisa perfectly responding to that. I thought, Colton is playing this game unlike we've ever seen before, where he's the most aggressive faithful I've ever seen, because I think he knows his time is short, and yet him being this aggressive, I think, has saved him from murder, Bailey.
Oh, 1,000%. I thought it was so brilliant. He's in that room with all the women there. He's there with both Lisa, with Candace, with Mara, with all the women, saying, "Take me out, murder me tonight." You know how smart that is? Because now if he does get murdered, all eyes are on the women in that room, aka Lisa and Candace. Yes, he doesn't know Candace is a part of it, but like, yeah, I mean, he is playing guns a-blazing, man. He came here to play. And he's setting traps. Like, it's so smart. Like, the way he went to Lisa and had that conversation with her, the way that he's choosing who to talk to about it, and to make sure there's always someone else around is really smart. So he's not just saying his opinion to one person. So if he gets murdered, no one else heard it. He is purposefully saying it in groups so that if he does get murdered, he is still helping from the grave. As much as I don't like him and as sassy as some of these moments have been from him, like, "Oh, you're not wearing your sunglasses, I can see your eyes." Like, he got petty. He got a little catty in there, and like, I don't know. I mean, personal thoughts aside, he's playing the game the best. I mean, he's actually doing something, and like, he's making for good TV. So I'm thankful for that. And honestly, I would not have bet any money that he was going to be the aggressor of the Faithfuls either. Of that group of people, I would not have ever picked out Colton. So the fact that he's doing it, I think, is surprising, and it is fun for the viewer. Again, your personal beliefs on him aside.
Yeah, which definitely you are okay to have those personal beliefs about Colton outside of the castle. We agree with those beliefs most likely. I will say one thing about Colton that I did not like. And Lisa kind of brings this up at the very end of the episode. Colton coming in expecting Lisa to be a certain way and her not acting that way. He correctly calls it, because Lisa is trying to kind of be a little bit quiet and go under the radar. And normally Lisa Rinna, I mean, she's wearing a jacket in the challenge that says Rinna in bold print across her shoulder blades. Like, she is an absolute legend of the game. She was the biggest name of this cast. Out of all the reality TV legends, Lisa Rinna, top of the billboard, okay? And Colton coming in expecting her to be a certain way is a little, it rubbed me the wrong way, because Bailey, you grew up being an actor. You were a child actor. You grew up being a singer. I grew up in the world of acting. I went to school for acting. I am Tony Squares online. The reason why the show is called Survivor Squared is only because I've built up enough of a populace to try a new venture here. Like, me and you, for whatever reason, in the most minor of ways, are known for certain things on camera. People have imbibed us before they've actually met us. And Lisa Rinna is that figure. Like, people have an idea of who Lisa Rinna is because they've seen a version of her that she plays on TV. Happens to be a reality show, but we kind of know what these reality shows actually are. And it's kind of that break in between who is the person you see on TV and who is the real actual person. Are they always supposed to be on? Are they always supposed to be the character? If you meet, I don't know, a mime in the wild, are they not allowed to talk? Like, it's kind of a weird situation where Colton expects that unfairly of Lisa and is using it against her in the game, even though he's right on it. I don't know how to feel. Am I wording this correctly, Bales?
No, you're wording it perfectly. I'm glad you brought this up, because this was something that I was sitting with for a second, actually, even just this morning, like doing my makeup, and I really was sitting with it, because I was like, it's so tough, because my gut inclination is to be like poo-poo on Colton, like, don't judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't come in with these preconceived notions of people. You should understand that people are performing. They are these caricatures of themselves versus the real people of them. Like, exactly like you said, no one's going to be on all the time just because they're a personality. However, he did clock her accurately. So like it is this weird, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's this weird line of like, yeah, like she stood up for herself and clapped back and was like, this is who I am and I always will be. I can turn it on if I want, but I also can turn it down. And like I thought that was a very valid argument from her. You know, I'm Lisa fucking Rinna before Housewives and I'll be Lisa fucking Rinna after Housewives. Like I love that.
I was Lisa fucking Rinna before Housewives, and I am Lisa fucking Rinna after.
But he is right, though, is the other thing. It's like she was right in calling him out and he was wrong for that. But at the same time, that is accurate because that is what is happening on the show and he has clocked her. So it's just a weird situation. But I agree with you that, like, you can't expect, I think Ron suffered from this a little bit too. And he even brought this up of like, people are used to me being the bright, bubbly, funny person. I'm not on all the time. I have moments where I'm down and I deal with depression. I deal with these things, you know, like we are all multifaceted, multi-sided human beings. So it's like, you can't expect someone to behave a certain type of way all the time. But again, her behavior is different because she's a traitor. So it's just, it's a hard balance.
And we've also seen in past seasons, specifically Traitors season 3, the people who make it the farthest, even the people who win, are the ones that aren't the normal, known for being out there as a reality TV persona. Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen were never going to win Traitors because they were known too much as threats and big personalities, so they had to play up to that era. The big brothers of the world, the gamers of the world are known to be threats, even though they might not actually be that in real life in this game. The season 3 had Dylan Efron, Gabby Windey, who were not Lord Ivar. They were not known for being these out there personalities until they got into the Traitors and you got to see them work. They flew under the radar for so long that they became believable traitors. And even in this season, Mark from Dancing with the Stars, Steven the actor, Coletti, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski are all not known. I mean, Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski are definitely personalities, but they're not known for being, you know, drunk on wine, yelling at each other, throwing shoes at each other like the housewives are. So they are allowed to fly under the radar and it's not weird for them, even though they may be that in real life and are trying to hide it. Before we move on to more on Lisa versus Rob and how it's turned into that now, and we're going to be doing that forward, I do want to tip my cap to the low-key MVP of the show, because this is why I got so excited about this episode of Traitors. It finally became an episode of Traitors because for the first time in a long time, we are getting a voting block. We are getting an alliance made. And it starts with Johnny Weir grabbing 8 people he believes to be faithful and saying, if we get 8, he's doing the math. If we get 8, we control the vote. So he goes easily to Tara Lipinski. He goes to Mark. He goes to Steven. He goes to Kristen. He also goes to Rob Rausch, which was the only incorrect traitor he has in the bunch of faithfuls. But he is, for the first time in a long time, Bailey, I'm seeing someone attack this like it is a game and going at this as, hey, if the 8 of us stick together, we're the final 8. There's nothing they can do. And I am so happy to see it, Bales. It didn't work in this vote because Maura breaks the alliance and votes for Ron, even though most of them want to vote Colton. No, it did not work. But the fact that it's there, and I do believe it will be growing in numbers and in strength, especially as these murders start happening, I am so happy to see it. I just want to tip my cap to Johnny Weir for creating it. Were you excited to see that?
Oh, I thought it was brilliant because it's like we as an audience are thirsty. We are craving for the proper gameplay because we have more knowledge and intel than they do. So it's easy for us to sit on the couch and be like, why aren't you doing this? Or like do something. So Johnny actually like thinking that through and doing the numbers and going to the people he knows are faithfuls, minus Rob, but Rob is doing a great job at making everyone believe he's a
playing
faithful.
excellently.
He is perfect. I'm obsessed with him. But I also think we got the best quote from Johnny this whole episode too, that I think I'm going to have to add to my 2026 vision board, which is just, you can never trust anybody except Tara Lipinski. It's a great quote.
By the way,
quote by
can
Johnny.
I just say, one of my notes, because I have, a page full of notes because I want to prep for this show and go over stuff with you. One of my notes happens at the round table when they're all talking about voting off Ron, and I think it's when Ron's going over through the table and thanking everyone for his time there. And Tara just slowly speaks up with, "Can I say something?" and says, "I don't think it's Ron." I just wrote, "Tara!"
I love that. And I did. I love that she just went, excuse me. Hi, real quick. Can I, do you mind if I interject? Like,
And
it was
she's
so
right.
cute.
It's hard to go
Yeah.
against groupthink. It is, especially in that setting, especially with all these strong personalities. And in a game where if you stick out, you get your head chopped off. It's hard to speak up. And it's also why you should kind of direct your traitor thoughts at people who aren't speaking up. But that's beside the point. Tara's sitting there going like, I need to say this. What made me so happy, and I put her high in the power rankings for a reason, Bales, and she's still there, and I hope she wins the whole thing. One last thing I want to talk to before we get to what the future means for these two traitors going after each other. The biggest note I have for the show, for this particular episode, we've been very, and I think correctly, kind to the producers of this show for how they built these challenges. We've liked all of them. This haunted house challenge, very fun, very campy. I'll allow it because the past few have been not fun and campy.
What in the Blair Witch Project is this?
All the faithful have the chance to get a shield to try to go for the correct name. And if they go for the shield, they don't get the money. And everyone at the round table says, if you go for a shield, we're going to get mad at you. At the end, there's 3 faithfuls left, or 3 players left. One of them is Rob. And Alan says you've gotten 15 out of the 18 grand, ... And also nobody grabbed a shield. Why are we giving that second part of the information out? If they told those 3, you've gotten 15 out of the 18 grand, go back to the castle, they're now thinking what happened to that other 3 grand. They're now going, did someone get a shield? They go back to the castle and say, we only got 15. It becomes a storyline, Bales. It becomes them trying to figure out who has what. And then Tara and Candace have to go, no, we got it wrong, we're dummies, and now the sus is on them. Like, it just adds to the gameplay, and I think that was a missed opportunity for Traitors. Did you see it that way?
I was going to say, I think that's a great call out. I agree. Well, especially in past episodes where they don't tell us if anyone got the shield or not. Why in this specific challenge was that information relayed? Like, it seemed almost like an oversight. Like, it seems like it was just said and then was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just felt like it wasn't supposed to, but it was like, oh, too late. We already said it. We might as well go with it now. Cause they don't tell us that. Ever. It's supposed to be a secret, and that's the whole point of shields, is so the traitors don't know who got them. So if you're going to outright just tell everybody,
it seemingly was the whole point of that mission. The fact that 2 people left and no one else could see them, and they could get a shield, they could not if they agreed to it. Jam wanted to, like, and Moore didn't let them. Like, it was a storyline. So I don't understand why they didn't play into that storyline, but. Speaking of storylines, next episode we're going to start with a murder in plain sight, which is fantastic. Can't wait to see all these people dressed in their banquet outfits and Lisa trying to get someone to touch the amulet of poison or whatever it's called. But we have traitor on traitor crime happening, Bailey, at the round table, as we said at the beginning of this episode. 3 people are up for banishment: Ron, Colton, and Lisa fucking Rinna. And the votes slowly come around. Rob is one of the last people to put a vote out there. He is working with Colton in an alliance. He has said multiple times he doesn't believe Ron is a traitor. He is put between a rock and a hard place, and he puts Lisa's name down as a traitor. But Lisa doesn't get voted out. Lisa is still there. And now the sus is on Lisa and on Colton, and Rob is on Team Colton. This is going to be a situation, Bales.
I was really, really shocked to see Rob put Lisa's name down. I thought he handled everything leading up to that so perfectly, like so beautifully handled. Like being in the car and them saying, what do you think about Lisa? And him just saying, oh yeah, it's possible. Like, he's so smart in the way he thinks about this, though, to not say, no, it couldn't be her, because that makes him look sus. Defend her too much, defend her too little, you know, like he's playing this middle road so well that I thought he would just kind of skate by doing that in all these side conversations, not necessarily fully having her back, but not throwing her under the bus, but being like, maybe. I really can't believe he actually put her name down at the round table. However, I think he can get out of this by just trying to explain it, of saying, like, it would have put so much more question and uncertainty on me if I had gone for either of these two guys. And to say, like, Lisa, that's why people think it's you, because you voted for Portia. If I vote for Colton, it's virtually doing the same thing, and it's going to get the same sus on me. I did this specifically to try to keep me safe so I can keep us safe. Like, I feel like he has so much gameplay and strategy, and not to downplay the intelligence of Lisa or Candace, but I feel like if he just says it in the right way, that they will take it and they'll just be like, okay, yeah, you're right. That was smart. And then they can maybe move on.
I
But
disagree.
Lisa also, I mean, we know Lisa Rinna. I was going to say, she's not going to let shit go. Like, we know Lisa. She's not going to let it
disagree.
go. She's not going to understand.
I
Tell me.
don't
Give it to
think,
me.
Rob, if we had a turret that night, I think we would have had a lot more of a conversation. But instead, now we have to fast forward into a murder in the middle, murder in plain sight, which the producers of this show don't know when the traitors are going to turn on each other. But I guarantee you, if they could have switched it up, they would have had the traitors in the turret, because we saw Candace throwing candies at Rob in the kitchen. I think Candace and Lisa are not going to be convinced by any, because Rob broke rank. Okay, he stabbed, and I think Candace says he stabbed Lisa in the front, not in the back, in the front. And I don't think they're going to be able to take that betrayal nicely. The key to this game now, because it's going to be Lisa versus Colton moving forward unless something else happens here, the key to this game now is Rob convincing Candace. It is now Rob versus Lisa. There is no coming back. One of these people are going to be taken out. Either Lisa's going to take out Colton and then Rob, or Rob is going and Colton are going to take out Lisa. Lisa will get up there, say she's a traitor, and Rob looks like the ultimate faithful to the very end. What Candace decides to do, and who gets Candace on their side, will shape the future of this season. And it's all in Candace's court. If she wants to go housewife strong and try to defend Lisa and swing the votes towards Colton, I think they can do that. And Lisa's been against Colton the whole time. I think they can do that. If Rob gets Candace on his side and Lisa kind of subtly goes against the housewife motto here and gets Dorinda on there too, there's a chance that Candace can last to the very end looking like a faithful. This is the future of the season. It's Rob versus Lisa, and I have my popcorn ready, Bailey. I can't wait to see how it turns out.
The possibilities are endless in my brain. I feel like I'm going through so many different things that could possibly happen, and it's just like, we've seen traitor on traitor crime before in past seasons where they have made up and moved forward. But I do think you're right. I think it's going to really open up this conversation of Rob versus Lisa. I do think it would be kind of smart for them to murder Colton, because I think it's so obvious that people would be like, oh, it must be someone else trying to set them up to look bad. Because if Lisa was a traitor, there's no way she'd murder Colton. So go murder Colton. Maybe that's the peace offering. Maybe that's the olive branch extended, is Rob says to Lisa and Candace, like, okay, how about this? We murder Colton and I'll give you my okay on that. I'll say goodbye to my boy if you forgive me. Or, you know, who knows? Like,
Again,
Rob is smooth, and those girls have little crushes on him. Those housewives are all about him. I think he might be able to bat his little eyes and get out of this.
Well, therein lies the problem, Bales, is they don't have the turret to decide. They don't have the ability to talk this out about the murder. We are going right into a banquet. That's where we were left on the cliffhanger. Lisa is wearing an amulet. Lisa is in charge of who she gets to try to touch this amulet, and Lisa is in charge of who dies. Is there any chance Colton touches the amulet on Lisa? No, there is no chance Colton gets murdered here. I think you and I, our next step to end this show, we need to predict who touches this amulet. Who do you think at the banquet Lisa gets to touch this thing and gets murdered in plain sight? I have mine locked up.
I hadn't even thought about this, and this is so weird, but the second you asked me that, a name just came so clear to my mind, and I don't even know why, because I don't know why I think this is my answer, but I can't ignore it because it came so loud. I feel like Maura would touch it.
I had
I
Maura.
think Maura
She
would
was one of
totally
my-
touch it. I don't know why her name just popped into my head so fiercely of like, I feel like Lisa could just pull some like, oh, I got this at a vintage boutique on Melrose. Have you ever been there? Like, look, it's so fun. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like it'd be something so easy to get Maura to touch it. So
No, I like that.
I guess, I mean, I'm sure she could get Dorinda to do it, but I don't think she would want to go for another housewife. So I don't know. Maura or Natalie maybe, or just like two names that popped into my head really quickly.
The only one that I had that I think I'm going to go with, because Mora was one of the first names I chose, just to be a little bit off, I think Johnny Weir would do it. I think Lisa having that same
I also
conversation with
think
Johnny. I think Johnny Weir could be the one that gets murdered, but we shall see. And we will be back next week to talk more about how the Traitors episode 7. And there's only 12 episodes. We're halfway done with Traitors season 4, but we are getting to the nitty gritty finally, and I cannot wait to see Traitor on Traitor crime. This week, though, we have a bunch more coming out Survivor-wise. Be on the lookout. We're going through the top 10 and bottom 10 twists in Survivor history. This is Survivor Squared. That is Bailey Buffs. I'm Tony Squares. Leave us a like. Leave us a subscribe if you liked watching us today. Help this channel grow. We do truly appreciate it as we go through Traitors season 4 and build towards Survivor season 50. Until then, adios. I still need to figure out how to end these stupid things.